Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. It's Monday, January 13th, 2020. Keeping this going every single day for the rest of the year, just like I promised you guys. Couple of things I want to talk about, huh? One really big news today, and then my Diamondbacks, who I love, right? What I wanted to talk about for my Diamondbacks after I mentioned the big news was I've mentioned our prospects before, right? But what I didn't mention is I didn't go down the list a little bit longer, and I didn't mention why we are set up for so many years. We are set up for so many years for the Diamondbacks, which I'll get into in a few seconds. But what I wanted to mention first is the big news of the Astros suspension and the firing of Hinch and the GM. And honestly, it's amazing. I tip my hat to the MLB commissioner. I think he did a wonderful job in just showing baseball this is unacceptable, because let me tell you something, it is unacceptable. I hate the Yankees. I never would root for them, but if Houston was cheating like that, they didn't deserve to win. They didn't deserve to beat Kershaw when Kershaw, they were guessing his pitches and guessing, they were raking all his stuff. It just is not right. It's messed up. It's not, there's no room, and it takes away from great players like Altuve and everything, because they can hit anyway. So it was unacceptable. For me, Hinch, then that just takes away his managerial skills anyway, because who knows if he was even a good manager at one point. Cora, I can't wait till he gets suspended, because that guy is another egomaniac, and who knows what he was doing in Boston, and I just can't stand it. So I tip my hat to the commissioner, and he did a wonderful job. I have no sympathy for the team. I have no sympathy for him losing. A year to me is still being a little bit nice, because that guy shouldn't be for a while, right? So if Pete Rose is going to bet on baseball and then get all that trouble, this is just another way of cheating this guy's doing, right? This is not schoolyard shit. This is freaking MLB. People are getting paid millions. People's contracts. People get injured from hurting too much with too many pitches. A lot of things happen for cheating, and that's just unacceptable. So thank you for doing that, because it makes baseball better. Jumping into the Diamondbacks. Why the Diamondbacks are set up for a very long time. I mean, I explained to you we have a couple of great prospects, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to go down the list of some of our prospects, right, and a little bit deeper into the prospects, and then explain to you why we are set up so much, right? So right off the top of the list, it's Alec Thomas, right? Then it's Kristen Robinson, and I've talked about this before. It's Corbin Carroll. Right away, let's start from here. You got three outfielders. Even if one of them turned out to be a stud, amazing. The other, you have trade potential now. So if you go out and get a center fielder, wonderful. If you get Pilar for a couple of years until they're ready, wonderful. If you decide not to do anything and just wait and put Ketel Marte in center field and wait, wonderful. So there's so many options there, and that's just three. I'm not mentioning our stud catcher outfielder in Visharo, who's a beast. That's four. Okay? I'm not mentioning Seth Beer, who's our first baseman and outfielder who can rake. That's five. I'm not mentioning Rojas, who we got and actually held his own last year, because let me tell you something, he hit some bullets right at people. So people are not looking at how he hit. He stood in with lefties, the guy can hit. That's six, and he can play second and he can play outfield. Okay? I'm not looking at Young, who we got in the trade, who hit 28 home runs, and that guy may be the surprise. Right? I don't know much about him, except I've seen some highlights in the minor leagues. To be honest with you, all this guy does is just looking at his numbers, looks like he rakes. That guy may shock everybody, okay? If we bring him to second base, if he maybe makes in the spring training, if he makes the team, who knows, right? But this is just the options. You got Domingo Labaya, who really never got a fair chance because the guy always keeps getting hurt, but he can hit. He can flat out hit. You got Perdomo at shortstop, who's a little bit more down, but he can flat out hit. I believe he hit 3-something last year. That is 9 guys, okay? 9 guys that I'm mentioning to you guys. I didn't mention any of the pitchers yet. So just count this off. 9 guys. A few years ago, we would dream to have 1 or 2. So to have 9 guys, what this does for the Diamondbacks, if the team that we play with is great now, wonderful. Maybe we're going to need a small piece and we can trade one of our lower prospects. Or say the Diamondbacks are right there and we have everything, but we need like one stud player. You can trade 2 of your top prospects, right? Maybe the 4th one and the 2nd one. if you really needed, a stud player, right? You don't want to give away the farm system. But if since the Diamondbacks are still so young with Marte and Walker, even Walker's still not old, Escobar's still young, because they're so young, Peralta's still got 3-4 years of really good baseball. Calhoun got 3 or 4 years. Kelly is just starting. Ahmed is young. Because they're all in their prime, right? You got time. You got a lot of time. By the time these guys are even getting older, you got guys coming up. So if you needed to make a trade in a couple of years, you have it. You have all this luxury. Even if you got rid of half your farm system, you still got 4 or 5 guys left. That is what Hazen has done. So that's what I'm telling you guys, where the Diamondbacks are better than the Dodgers. Now, another rumor is that Mookie Betts may be staying in Boston. And if that's the case, if Mookie Betts stays in Boston, the Dodgers are in a lot of trouble. Because I'm telling you, the Dodgers need to make a move, and it's been awfully quiet over there. They're just not willing to part with a lot of their guys. Mookie, I don't think the Red Sox are comfortable enough giving him. I don't know if Lindor is going to go anywhere unless Lux goes. So the Dodgers better do something. Because when the Diamondbacks start going up, the Dodgers may have to just take a year and take a step back and then see what they have to do. Because the Dodgers are the type of team, if they lose 1 year, then all of a sudden they're going to go buy the whole league. So where the Diamondbacks were smart and where they set up also is that they got guys who can play different positions. There's not just one position. To have a guy who can play catcher and outfield, second base and outfield, shortstop and third, it's just you're able to do so many different things. And then we have a couple pitchers who's coming up also. But I think the Diamondbacks' strength, they need to build a little bit more in the pitching staff, right? That's where we have some really good pitchers, and Gallen was a wonderful move, right? So where I'm looking at, where the Diamondbacks are set, you got Bumgarner. Wonderful. Gallen, we'll find out this year if he's the real deal, but he pretty much looks like it is. So that's 2 for me. That's a top 2 pitching. How's Weaver going to do? Because that's a big question, right? We know Leak will be here for another year or so, but who knows if he's going to sign as a veteran. He likes it in Arizona, but we're looking for 2 or 3 studs. So is Weaver going to be the guy? Is Weaver going to be the number 3 that's going to dominate us? Because Ray won't be here by then. So who is the guy that's going to come up? So what I think is going to happen with the Diamondbacks soon is that we're going to be, if we don't go where we want to go next year, knock on wood, one of those big prospects will be going for a pitcher, right? One of them will be going for a pitcher for sure, which is great because we're so close anyway. And then it's just the fact that you have this talent to get a huge caliber pitcher, because you can go out and get an ace with what you have right now. If you traded your number 1 prospect in Alot Thomas like they did with the shortstop last year to the Marlins, you can go out and get a stud. You can go out and get a well-named player right now for some of those guys. It's just that good. It's that well that the Diamondbacks are set up, and that is why I say the Diamondbacks will win the division and will shock everybody. They may not win the championship, of course, because the Yankees, to me, have the best team. Still, that's on paper, right? Again, Cleveland Browns had a fantastic team on paper. Who the hell knows what happens? Injuries happen, everything. But the fact that the Diamondbacks are set up for this long and they're able to get what they need without having to break banks, it's just wonderful. So the Diamondbacks can trade from within with all these players. And what else do they have coming up? A lot of money. So 9 to 10 prospects and a lot of money coming up. The vision. Anyway, guys, talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.